Jon and Mike, quality assurance analysts with over 20 minutes of experience between them. They rate movies on a scientifically rigorous scale, approved or denied. They watch it, so you don't have to. This is Quality Assured Films.
Ready, fight!
Hey man, what's up?
Not right now.
Why? What are you doing?
I'm using my inhuman avatar to fight this bad guy.
Oh, why? What's he want?
The normal, his intent is to destroy the virtual world that the entire global economy relies on.
Oh, you mean like Ready Player One?
No, Summer Wars.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis.
Welcome back to Quality Assured Films. I'm Mike.
I'm Jon.
And we just watched Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Let me say something here, okay? Steven Spielberg, my friend, where have you been? It's been quite a while. I loved it. I really loved it. And I know that's not going to sit well with some people.
Me?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
A whole virtual universe.
So, what did you like about Ready Player One?
Okay, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a short list. I liked some of the changes that they made from the book. I think, first of all, I hated the book.
Yeah, it's hard not to talk about the book existing without, the movie.
I read the book a while ago, before we knew the movie was coming out, because people for years had told me to read this book. You're going to love it. Oh my God, you have to read it.
Yep.
And I am retroactively mad at all of those people, because that was one of the worst books I've ever read, if not the worst. I'm talking worse than William Faulkner.
Oh, shit.
I liked some of the changes that they made for the movie. The changes they made were positive. Some of them.
People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah.
Now, the book itself, the way it's written, is not very good. It's just, it's like ramblings of a madman. But there's a good thing in this. But the story, like the overall journey, is what I really enjoyed about it. And I still kind of walked away from the book and liking that and thinking, oh shit, when they announced it was going to be a movie, the first thing out of my head was, how the hell are you going to put that on the screen?
When I was writing the book, I let my imagination run wild.
I was thinking, how the hell are they gonna pay for all of these references?
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole book is cluttered with references to 80s properties, film, animation, books, movies, video games. Somebody made a killing off of licensing fees for this movie. I bet there were copyright lawyers everywhere who were cheering. Okay, wait. I'm talking about things I like. I have to rein myself in to think about things I liked about this movie. Oh boy.
The Oasis was the brainchild of James Halliday.
Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I created a hidden object, an Easter egg. The first person to find the egg will inherit $500 billion and total control of the Oasis itself.
The premise of the movie is that there are challenges that have to be completed to find this treasure. And I liked the adjustments that they made to the challenges for the film to make them more cinematic.
It's a dystopian world where most of the people, they just spend their time, with the visors on in this virtual reality world where you can be whoever you want. And that's when you first meet Wade Watts.
Wade Watts.
Wade Watts.
Double consonant.
I love it.
I guess it was a good adaptation.
Yeah.
The whole point is to make it more palatable for the general public
Right.
when you're doing an adaptation. So I think they were able to cut out things that didn't need to be there and bolster things where they could.
I really like the visuals.
What did you like about the visuals?
I'll tell you. I really liked the fact that, I mean, it felt at first when you saw these people, they looked a little bit Avatar-ish, where you could tell, you know, it's a real person on there with the CGI over their eyes and stuff. So at first I thought, am I going to be annoyed by this? Because you know me, I do not like a lot of CGI in movies. Side note, Wrinkle in Time, you know, I'm talking about you. Yeah.
Speaking of the character designs, I like that they embraced the fact that they didn't have to stick to the laws of our natural world since they were avatars in an online game.
Yeah.
So H had the big cavity with the hydraulics
Oh, yeah.
in the chest, and to a certain extent Artemis had like animal characteristics, and it wasn't like the Matrix where it was just you with a trench coat on.
Right.
I liked that that they embraced the avatar aspect, so they didn't have to look human.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I wish they would have done more of that.
I found love. And now, people have lost their lives. No.
Ben Mendelsohn as the corporate villain. He did a good job. I wish he would have been a little more ruthless.
The Oasis, the world's most important economic resource. It's nothing less than a war for control of the future.
The guy, James Halliday,
Yeah.
his performance was, I swear to God, he was doing an impression of the comedian Joe Pera. They sounded exactly alike. Here's a clip of them.
Every year on Valentine's Day, a lot of people will wear red to be festive, but I instead wear black out of respect for all the ladies' hearts I've broken with this smile. Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead.
Holy shit.
So that kind of took me out of it a little bit because I could not stop thinking about that. But I liked the scenes of him and Simon Pegg together.
Yeah, yeah.
And Simon Pegg was playing his old business partner.
Yes.
I wish there would have been a little bit more of that.
Yeah, they sprinkle it in here and there throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I think I know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's spoiler time, baby. Woo! We going to the Oasis. Whoa!
Someday it's gonna be the day they're gonna throw it back to you. Copyright alert.
I've been waiting to talk about this. My favorite scene in the entire film is the Shining scene, which is, again, going back to what he said, where they kind of changed it up a little bit. In the book, it's War Games. They go into the movie, the Matthew Broderick film, and even Monty Python, Holy Grail, at some point.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Which is crazy. But in this movie, they literally have to go into The Shining because they're following all these clues that Halliday left, and they literally go in their avatar, the CGI, into the perfect set. Steven Spielberg recreated it, and they're walking around. It was hilarious. Like, did you like that part?
I hated that part.
What? Why?
That part made me sick. This is like digging up Kubrick's grave and shitting in it.
Oh God!
Like, let's take this masterpiece movie and put our dumbass CGI characters stumbling around inside of it.
And when the elevator opens and H is like, they're like, H, get away! He's like, what?
That was the part I was like, I want to die.
It was slow motion, just like in the movie.
And so we made a list of other 80s films that we thought might be a good fit, and when Steven saw The Shining, he immediately responded.
I think that kind of sums it up. Like,
that scene?
Like, that sums up my whole view on this movie of, like, you don't understand what actually makes the things that you're referencing awesome.
Who is this Parzival, and how the hell is he winning?
Find him. This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death.
I've been spending a lot of time thinking about why this movie's so offensive to me, and like the book is so offensive. Just imagine if the cringeworthy, awful, just rancid fan fiction that you wrote as a teenager, which would now be blackmail material, wound up as a $300 million movie directed by Steven Spielberg. That's the situation we're in here, and it just blows my mind that this got anywhere past the word go. I can't believe it. It's a teenager's jerk-off fantasy. And it got made into a movie by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
When I read Ready Player One, I was completely wowed by it. I suddenly saw a future, and it wasn't that far away from what I think is going to happen.
I could not have written Ready Player One if I had not grown up on a steady diet of Steven Spielberg movies. Everybody, I think, who dreams of making movies dreams of getting to work with him.
One of the things that bothers me so much is that Ernest Cline, the author, his work is so regressive. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, about why it is so toxic. And the reason is because Ernest Cline is a quote-unquote nice guy.
Okay.
He's the guy who thinks he understands women and thinks that the women should just throw themselves at him. And when they don't, he says he's being friend-zoned and cries about how women don't like nice guys. And that's how the character of Artemis is treated. And in the book, it's even worse and creepier. There's this whole thing about how, like, he and Artemis should just be together. So something I liked in the movie was that she told him, he goes, "I love you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You just met me.
Yep.
You don't love me. You love the idea of me. I'm only showing you what I want to show you.
Right.
You don't actually know me." And I thought, oh, here we go. Here's a place we could actually improve on the source material. But no, that goes nowhere. And we just end up with them, he's like caressing her face. And I'm like, you just met.
Yeah, because they meet in real life and she has that thing on her face, and he's like, "Hey, baby,"
Yeah, oh, why would I care about your birthmark? And also I'm like, oh, she's got a birthmark?
Yeah.
That, like, come on, people. You could actually, I think that's the greatest failure to me, is that you could actually say something interesting. And I was like, what is Steven Spielberg trying to tell me with this movie? He's telling you that he is in a prison of the 80s of his own making.
Yeah.
Like, he cannot escape his past. It haunts him forever. And every new generation, we're stuck in this time we're in right now. We're stuck in 80s nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it was almost like he was saying, this is hell. But I think there was something to be said about, like, our obsession with things and how they can get out of control, and how we spend so much time online and how that will deteriorate the outside world as we're not paying attention to the systems and nature and the real in reality.
Right.
But they don't do any of that.
That's better. I'll wave to you from the finish line. McFly.
That went well.
With Artemis, for example, though, and they switch this up in the movie, because in the book, it's Wade that has to infiltrate, the big corporation at the end of the story, and kind of bring down the big. There's like a shield or whatever that's at the last challenge. But in the movie, they switch it up. She fucking sacrifices herself, gets caught, and she does it. So I felt like she wasn't as helpless as most movies.
Okay.
Like she saved the day, essentially.
I just figured it out.
Figure what out?
The second clue, I know what it means.
But I do agree that it felt a little rushed with the whole them meeting, them being into each other super quick, and then all that. So.
And she's like, "Welcome to the Resistance." And I was like, what Resistance?
Yeah, it was like two people.
Like, well, even so, it's like, what are you actually doing?
Well, that's another thing, because they never make it clear other than there's a contest. Corporation wants to play it. you never really know their motive other than they're a corporation and they want control of the Oasis, but it's never said.
Like, what's the benefit to them? When they show the scenes when everyone's out in the street at the end, everyone seems to, like, the world they're in seems fine.
Yeah, they seem...
Like, the stacks don't seem that bad. Everyone seems pretty happy in the stacks.
True.
His life seems fine.
I do want to say what you were talking about with the whole, what are they going to do with it when they win?
Right.
So when he does win, it's like you said, and it's a quick, abrupt ending to the movie. Like, they just mentioned real quick, hey, so now we closed it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that way people can relax together. And they're, like, smooching on the couch and shit.
And then the credits start rolling.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't get to see anyone's lives get better. We don't get to see the impact on the world that it has.
No. I didn't like that. But I did like the surprise twist. And if you read the book, you knew ahead of time. But H... her, because in the real world, she is a woman. I thought that was a cool twist, because you don't know these people. Their voice, like her voice sounds like this in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
As her avatar. And then you meet her and you're like, oh, shit.
Hold on to something. What's going on? Just practicing my Mario Kart. Hold on.
There was a line that she said where she was like, you're getting all dolled up for this girl, but you don't know if she's a girl or not.
Oh, yeah.
She could be some 300-pound guy in his mom's basement named Chuck. And I was like, do we need that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a 300-pound guy who plays video games, and I'm not a piece of shit, so, hey, fuck you.
In the virtual world of the Oasis, anything is possible.
Speaking of other fucked up things, did the two Japanese kids need to be the most stereotypical Asian, characters in history, where they're bowing to everyone, and they have thick Japanese accents, and, they're in, aren't they in, Detroit or something?
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on, people.
That's funny.
And their avatars are fucking samurai and ninjas, and I like a fucking break.
I mean, it's Steven Spielberg. You start at the top. There's only one way to go.
Well, you told me this. You hated the fact that when they're fighting people in the Oasis, like you actually have to be physically swinging your arms, kicking your feet. You have to know karate.
You have to walk on a treadmill, and you have to actually do the karate moves in real life.
Yep.
I thought that was so stupid. When I play Street Fighter, I'm not actually doing karate. I'm not actually shoryukening and stuff, and I don't have to actually do a backflip to do a backflip. But then he's hung up on carabiners for dangling.
One part I really enjoyed was, and they really glossed over this in the book super quick, it was like a little mention, and that was the Iron Giant.
Oh.
I loved it. You see him first in the workshop at H, and it's like a tease, and then it comes back at the end full force with that huge battle. And
this is another great example of how they don't understand the source material. The Iron Giant in the movie, all he wants is peace, and here he is in a 1,000-man war, firing a giant laser cannon and shooting beams out of his eyes and murdering people. There's a line where the main character says to the corporate bad guy, a real fan knows a poser.
Oh yeah.
And you're a poser. And I was like, yeah, that's right, Ernest Cline, you fucking poser.
Oh.
It was like perfect. It perfectly summed. It was like I could taste the irony in my mouth as I was watching it. It was so satisfying.
And those with the skill to survive these straits will reach the end. Where the prize awaits.
One of my big questions to you, though, is because you hated the book so much, when you went into the movie, did you go into it at all kind of open-minded, or you knew right away you're going to hate this, period?
I went in with an open mind because I foolishly thought that maybe they could change the very problematic misogyny and oh my god, the endless lists of things. And I thought that maybe that would improve it. And it just could not rise above the source material. I appreciated that I didn't have someone explaining to me for 5 pages every single reference that was on the screen.
Yep.
But at the same time, everything was told to you through extraneous narration. So I thought to myself, oh my god, this sounds exactly like the book as he's narrating the movie.
Yeah, it does.
And then when the end credits come up and you go co-written by Ernest Cline, I'm like, there that is. Okay, that explains that.
Yep.
So those are pretty much my final thoughts.
What are my final thoughts?
What are your final thoughts?
Ooh, okay.
Ever. I'm kidding.
Oh my god, it's fucking Chucky. That was a great part. I love that the little Chucky doll. Listen, like I said at the start of this whole review, I enjoyed the story and the adventure in the book, past all the shitty writing, and at the core of this movie, I felt the same way. I felt the adventure. Granted, I wish I would have cared a little more about all these characters, because things that happened to them would have felt a lot more like, oh my god. But in the end, I did enjoy it, and it was really long. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I did not feel like it was long. And you know me, that is a big fucking deal.
That's right.
So...
I hated it.
It needed a visionary filmmaker, so who better than Steven Spielberg to tell this story?
Cut, one more time. Right away.
Well, I mean, we are still quality assurance analysts, so I'm going to have to ask you, in your professional opinion, whether you would approve Ready Player One or deny Ready Player One.
Ready Player One was not ready, and I deny this movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Quality
denied.
Ready Player One, I mean, you could improve. You will hopefully improve in the second one. I'm excited for the second one. I loved it. In the end, I did. I could get past some of the things, and I really had a fun time. I saw it twice. I can't wait to see it again, to be honest. And I'm just curious whether or not it'll hold up as far as the CGI goes in the future. But overall, I would have to quality approve Ready Player One.
Wow.
Quality approved. Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Like many of you, I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
Let me take you on a trip around the world and back.
You can act like a man.
What do you? Blah 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 blah.
Hold on.
Yeah. People told me to read this book.
I really don't know what I was going to say. The little girls. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I can't. Anyway, we'll do. I'm fucking this up.
We go now live to Egypt.
Somebody made a fortune off of shorting Battleborn 2 years ago, and they started production.
Spoiler time! You know what time I think it is?
Do I know what time you think it is?
I really like the visuals.
What about what? We just watched Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One.
Yes, we did. Which...